So, what did you make of the Golden State game? We'll start with this. I don't know your thoughts on it, but Tatum didn't shake what's his face? Steve Kerr's hand afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Jayson Tatum is annoyed with Steve Kerr, like aggravated by him?
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I would hope that wouldn't be the case. I was on a show in San Francisco the day before radio, and they were asking me questions. I said Steve Kerr's job was one thing. It wasn't a popularity contest. It was to win an Olympic gold. He did that with the players out there who were playing. If Tatum didn't play in that situation, I don't think he really played as well as Jayson Tatum normally plays. So other guys were playing. They won. And I asked Jayson Tatum that. I said, people have talked about this stuff till I've gotten sick. And I said, you won a gold medal. You got a new contract. You won a world championship. So how's your life? He said, man, I couldn't be happier right now. So all this stuff with Steve Kerr, I hope it goes out the window because it shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the same thing, is that if you win the gold medal, then your only job was to win the gold medal and to not embarrass the country. You achieved both.
Yeah,
and then, if he didn't win the gold medal, then you can pick apart everything. But if he wins it, what do you want him to do,
Absolutely. I mean, that I think as a coach sometimes, and I did a little coaching at one time, and it's not a popularity contest. You're not going to be able to play everybody. I don't care who you are or how great you are. Certain guys sat down. Look at Joel Embiid. He did not play in a game during the Olympics. And Steve Kerr explained it. So if your strategy as a coach is to win a gold medal, you win it, you've done what you're supposed to do.
And plus, Tatum's obviously, unless he gets hurt, got a very good chance of being on a couple more, at least, Olympic teams. Yeah. So, he'll get it eventually.
Max, speaking of strategy, the strategy against Golden State was more the same. Going to shoot a lot of 3-pointers, and we're gonna pay attention to the metrics and the math on that. Against a team that also likes to shoot the three a lot. However, it did not work out in the Celtics' favor. So, do you view that as any kind of indictment on the roadmap and the game plan for the Celtics, for the season and how that worked out the other night?
No, I don't, because one, you're missing two of your best players. Jaylen Brown did not play. You didn't have Porzingis. And another reason you didn't play as well, or the game didn't go in your favor, was Drew Holiday, who's been so good from the three-point line, was 0 for 6. So if you want to put these stats together, and, they barely beat you, and I thought they were very physical. It was a competitive game. But they just kind of squeaked it out. They had a little bit more in the tank than you did at the end of the day. And I would not put an indictment on that with the world champions. I think they have come out and they've swung well.
I'm wondering what you thought about Golden State and the way Steve Kerr is playing that team. They're going 11 or 12 deep now. They're very good defensively, but do you think the way Kerr is coaching that team is sustainable over the course of a season?
I think it's going to be tough. But here's the thing. If you play that many people, then you're going to get more rest for guys like, Steph Curry. Won't have to play as much. So not as much wear and tear. But, when you play that number, a lot of times you just play too many people and they don't get a rhythm. Players, normally great players like to play 35, 36 minutes a game. And you don't get that with the way that team was playing. But what I loved about that team was that they defended the three-point line. They were all over that. They didn't care if the Celtics scored inside the paint or not. They took the rhythm away from the three-point line. So I did like their strategy. It worked that particular night. But again, the factors that the Celtics didn't shoot the ball as well in some areas, that was I think that was the mainstay.
Have we asked Max about fighting in basketball at all?
Yes, we have.
Okay, we have.
You have to like Draymond Green. You have to be a fan of his, Max, I would imagine.
You know what? Really, I am. I know I had a argument with Draymond Green during the championship when the Celtics were playing the Warriors. And I was very upset, the way he did. Jaylen Brown kicked him in the head. But at the same time, he did what he did for his team. And they were about that. That was their team then. I think they're employing a different strategy right now. But if you look the way they were so physical with Andrew Wiggins was very good in that game, being up, bodying Tatum. Tatum got off to a slow start, and that was because of the way they played him.
What I do love about Draymond, and I love Draymond, I liked him in college, but the way when he bravely made the second of 2 free throws when he missed the first to put them up 4, that he waved to the audience, blew kisses. I mean, Draymond, you went 1 for 2 from the line.
He made 1 basket or 2 baskets, hit a layup, and then went,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. He just lives to antagonize. I love it.
Well, and that's part of what some teams do. I mean, when he was when he's playing with Golden State, they need that person. And sometimes I wish the Celtics had that person that was antagonizing people. I've said many times before, I said, I would love Jayson Tatum one time when somebody, hit him or knocked him down hard to jump up and say, if you do that F again, then, there's going to be a problem. So, but I haven't seen that.
No.
And this team doesn't play that way. But sometimes I think that is part of the game, that you have to, intimidate people or just respond when they come at you in kind.
So Tatum, I don't know if he was asked directly about that, but he addressed it the other day when he said, yeah, people, for years have wanted me to be more aggressive or be more demonstrative. And he said, I'm going to do what the F I'm going to do. And I'm just, I believe he said Jayson is going to, be what he wants to be. So, any wish that you or I might have for him to, kind of show that, Max, he seems pretty dead set. And he's like, no, I'm not going to change the way I feel or, act out or act more aggressive. It's just not in me.
Well, if that's not him as a player, then you can't fake it. You can't fake being a tough guy. That's not going to work. But, here's the results. At the end of the day, Jayson Tatum has won a championship playing the way Jayson Tatum has. Is he going to have a mandate on the league this year? Because so many people talked about him. I think he could have an MVP year. But if he's not like that, you're not going to force a guy to be like that. And so I think that, as much as I hope, much as I wish, if he's not like that, then that's not who he is.
I might go to the game tonight with my son. I'd come by and say hello, but I would be very uncomfortable around your partner because I make fun of him all the time.
Be my guest to come down.
No, I don't have the balls.
I don't.
I behind a microphone, I'm very tough. I don't like to meet the people I make fun of. It's very
wow. There's the guy down in Charlotte right now, still waiting for you.
Well, listen,
whose fault is that, Max?
I mean, who's boy? Rick must be really mad at you. He had to pick up his phone 4 times.
Yeah, Fred has a new home phone number. Would you like to give that out to your guy down in Charlotte?
Well, look, I did not know what was going on, guys. The guy just told me, "Hey, do you have that guy's number?" And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, give me his number." And then I found out later on that there was a big challenge match that was happening, and 2 guys were showing the side of their wood, who had the biggest wood, and I did not know that was happening.
There was only one guy who was doing that.
Yeah,
it wasn't the
me.
guy sitting here. It was the guy down there.
I actually didn't do anything this time. I really didn't.
No.
Like he lost his mind. It's this guy in Raleigh or Charlotte or something that he got real mad at me for like some innocuous. I don't even. Oh, I hung up on the hillbilly guy.
The Carolina Hurricanes, right?
Yeah, and he defended the South on the on his show, and got very angry at me. And I didn't know who he was. And then I said, I made fun of him, and then briefly,
I was
and
out
he went
to dinner
crazy.
with my wife and a friend.
Yeah, he goes,
that was a whole
okay,
thing.
so Cedric, if you heard someone say, they're telling a story, they're relating a story about how they heard that someone was making fun of them, and they go, I was out to dinner with my wife and a friend. If you heard that and were playing that on the air, what would you insinuate was happening?
You know what? I think I would just kind of think it was a joke.
No, it's a cuckold situation, of course, is what you would insinuate. A devil's 3-way, if you would.
A devil's 3-way?
That's 2 men. It's a devil's 3-way is what you're thinking. You're thinking the same thing as me.
That's not gonna make you're not gonna bait me again and make me act Mrs. Wallach. You're not gonna do that again.
Right.
No,
you're a devil's 3-way, and your brain went right to Mrs. Wallach.
Don't play innocent now. You tried to get us to give you the punchline for a racist joke earlier.
Yeah.
We're not playing this game with you.
You'll be okay. You'll be all right.
I'm sure.
It wouldn't go national. I mean,
no.
Look. If the president of the United States can do that kind of stuff, God forbid we can't do a little bit on radio.
I'll tell you what, he can get away with way. I've thought about it many times, and for good or bad, he can get away with way more than I can. 1,000 times more than I can. Yeah. If I said what JD Vance said about like pregnant women, do you know the hell I'd be put through off the air?
Sure.
Like, so, I mean, this is, look. It hasn't trickled down yet to us.
You know,
when can we be racist again?
You know what? Here's the thing I think is crazy about all this is that it just seems like it's turned into a extremely conservative society, and that you can't do anything, say anything unless you're on the opposition. You know, when Donald Trump won the election, he did win it fair and square this year. He had a more popular vote. And it was a mandate from the people. Mm-hmm. And I am not a Trump supporter. Make sure I say that. I am not. But when he won this time fair and square. Only thing I would hope that, you know, you can win in a gracious manner and not rub it in on the rest of us.
Good luck.
Right. Well, listen, it's much easier to be a good winner than someone who's transferring power. There's no question about it.
And it's good news for you, Max, and all the other Barry Manilow fans out there that this country is leaning more conservative. Some nice middle-of-the-road music, very inoffensive, should appeal to everybody.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing before I go, I want to ask you guys. Do you think this is the last professional team? The Celtics are going down to the White House probably here in the next couple of weeks. Do you think this is the last professional team you'll be in the White House for the next 4 years?
No, because I think that because Trump won so decidedly that it's the second time that it's not as hot a thing. Like, right? I guess if there's like a lot of controversies and stuff.
Yeah.
But this time around seems like you said, there's no controversy. Like the people have spoken. It's a democracy. Like it or not, I mean, it is what it is. So, no, I don't think that this is the last time.
No, so you think that if the Celtics won the championship next year, they would go to the White House?
Not the Celtics necessarily, but like what the next team would be what the
what team? What team?
The Super Bowl.
It would be the Super Bowl team.
So do you believe Kansas City would go if they won?
Well, they would, but it would still be Biden. But no, February. It would be
February.
All right,
it would be on Trump's watch.
All right.
That's why I'm asking you guys now.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the last team that's possibly going to be going down for a while? Because I can't see an NBA team, WNBA team, maybe Major League Baseball, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Hockey?
the team would go. That's very interesting, Cedric. It's very interesting.
It's a good question.
Because maybe the team would go, but certainly like Jaylen Brown wouldn't go. Yeah, you know, like, I mean, Missoula probably wouldn't go.
Last time you'd have full attendance, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, interesting. That's very interesting. Keep an eye on that. Yeah.
Thank you. I was thinking that. I said I was going to ask you guys that because I've been thinking about that. When the Celtics go this time and Biden is there, now Trump takes over for the next 4 years. Is there going to be any NBA team or any WNBA team that goes to the White House?
It also depends on what I think what you were saying, Fred, is what happens in the White House and what happens specifically with Trump. What does he say or do in the months leading up to when the visit is supposed to take place? If things are relatively quiet, yeah, I think an NFL team might go. Yeah.
What are the odds of things being quiet?
I don't know. I don't know. True. I don't know.
John, take a look at his first term.
That's for you. You read Doonesbury and you get back to us.
Yeah.
All right. Listen.
Toucher and Hardy here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.